stretch. We'll move on. Business item, new business item number 3. Z-15-05. Hold a public hearing and consider rezoning approximately 26.24 acres from A Agricultural District to C2 General Commercial District for a portion of the property located at the northeast corner of 167th Street and Waverly Road, initiated by the Gardner City Council. Do we have a staff presentation?
Yes.
Sorry, Chad, I didn't even know you weren't here.
That's all right.
My apologies.
That's all right. Yes, as you stated, this is rezoning from agricultural to C2 for a portion of the property located at the northeast corner of 167th Street and Waverly Road. Some project history. It was zoned to the Commercial 2 Plan District and the Commercial Office back in 2007. It was recently rezoned to agricultural and excluded from oil wells. The City Council initiated the CP-2 and CO portion back to a commercial zoning. Here's a map with the subject area highlighted in black with the hatching on it. You see the zoning to the north is ag, and the zoning to the south as the residential 3 plan district, and then zoning to the west as being the R-1 low-density residential zoning. Staff recommendation is with the Planning Commission for the request to rezone 26.24 acres of property located at the northeast corner of 167th Street and Waverly Road from the A Agricultural District to the C2 General Business District to the governing body with a recommendation for approval.
Great. Thank you, Chad.
Uh-huh.
We will now open the public hearing. If anyone would like to comment on this item, please come forward and state your name and address for the public record. Individuals are allotted 3 minutes, or an individual representing a group is allotted 7 minutes.
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public hearing made by Lavella with a second by Barber. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Any questions or comments from the commissioners on this item? Been before us once, but
Does staff have any reasoning behind why the city council has requested this to be rezoned C2 instead of R1, something more similar to the surrounding areas in the plan?
I think that's what we want in the future. I think that's what we want on that corner in the future.
commercial.
Which commissioner had the question?
Austin.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Austin. Yeah, as far as I think this slide illustrates the history there of the zoning scheme. And you'll see that the area, as far as the area being considered tonight, was mostly in the CP-2. I think it was their desire to return to that in general shape and form with the request of the C2 zoning. I don't really have much more other than that.
I think it's also laid out in the comprehensive plan in that manner, I believe, if I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah, there is an area
Community.
in the southwest corner
Oh, I see.
that is
A lot smaller area.
It's gonna be
where the
surrounded by homes.
plan calls for commercial future land use.
I think what you're saying, Commissioner Austin, is that this is a larger parcel designed for the commercial zoning versus what's shown on the community development plan? And you're just asking for
Right.
clarification on why it's maybe larger than what the
Right.
plan is? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. that's just how I mean, is it just how the parcel's laid out? It's just that big of an area, or just is what it is?
This follows the previous CP2 and CO area, it looks like.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me adding.
No, not at all, sorry, I didn't see you waving at me, please.
In the discussion in council, I mean, that was kind of a compromise that was made, that they would rezone the whole thing agriculture, but then rezone back the commercial that was commercial. And so what you're seeing is the area that was previously zoned for commercial, whether it be CO or CP2, to go back as commercial.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? If not, I would entertain a motion on this item.
I'll move that we forward the request to rezone 26.24 acres of property located at the northeast corner of 167th Street and Waverly Road from A Agricultural District to C2 General Business District to the governing body with recommendation for approval.
Second.
We have a motion made by Austin with a second by Barber, that the planning commission forward the request to rezone 26.24 acres of property located at the northeast corner of 167th Street and Waverly Road from A Agriculture District to C2 General Business District to the governing body with a recommendation for approval. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries with all in favor. Moving on. New business item number 4. 2016-2020 Capital Improvement Program. Consider the proposed 5-year capital plan and the identified projects and make a determination of conformity with the comprehensive plan. Presentation this evening?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'm going to present the 2016 through 2020 CIP to you. And the reason I'm doing this is because by Kansas statutes, the Planning Commission is responsible for reviewing any public facility or utility improvement and to make sure that's in conformance with the comprehensive plan. It can be done on a project-by-project basis or as a CIP as a whole. This presentation can be broken down into 3 different sections. Provide an overview on the CIP. I'll talk about the staff analysis and also staff's recommendation. The Capital Improvement Program basically has 4 key components. It identifies needs, and staff uses the comprehensive plan, the city's master plans, and also the recently completed utility assessments to identify all these projects and needs. Next, we determine the cost, both the initial project cost and also any ongoing operational expenditures that might affect future budgets. We prioritize all capital requests. This is done at a department level for their individual projects, then also the city as a whole, the city administrator and finance director. And then finally, CIP should serve as a financing strategy. It's basically a multi-year plan. We have to identify when the projects will occur and what funding sources to allocate to them. Projects that are included in the CIP is a project that exceeds $25,000. It's an improvement related to infrastructure, parks, facilities, or land acquisition, and the project has to be non-recurring. That means every project has to be unique. The process we followed was first we started with citizens. We had a workshop in February where we presented proposed projects, let them ask their questions and share concerns and their priorities. Next, we took City Council on a CIP tour. Then we presented utility projects to the Utility Advisory Commission in July. And then we included a draft of the entire CIP in the 2016 budget document in the appendix section. That's been given to the governing body and also has been posted online to the public. And then now we're presenting the CIP to the Planning Commission for your review to see if it's in conformance with the comprehensive plan. The Staff analysis consisted of us looking at all of our major planning documents and looking at each project and seeing how it conformed to the plans and what the level of conformance was. The highest level of conformance is that our project was specifically identified. This slide shows a couple of projects that were specifically identified in the comprehensive plan. It's pretty rare for the comprehensive plan to identify all the projects because it's a really high-level planning document. But these two projects were the highest level of conformance. The next level of conformance is where most of the projects will fall. Basically, a general policy statement that would be in the comprehensive plan. An example, two of the main examples are if it supports existing infrastructure, it's a maintenance policy. If it helps prepare the city for growth, it's fall under the growth policy. Here's a list of the projects that fall under the maintenance policy. For example, the trail reconstruction we included in CIP because reconstruction is a major improvement, doesn't happen very often, so it would be included in the CIP, but ongoing maintenance like crack sealing, that'd be more ongoing maintenance, so that'd be in the operating budget. These projects were listed as growth projects. Some of these can be considered maintenance also, but when we improve like the gravity mains or lift stations, might be somewhat maintenance, but at the same time we're improving the capacity for those so we can accommodate future growth. So that's why they're listed under the growth policy. The lowest level of conformance is if a project simply wasn't addressed. And an example of one of those projects would be the removal of Sunset Lift Station. It doesn't fall under the maintenance policy. It doesn't really fall under the growth policy, but staff has identified we can remove that lift station in the future. It won't be needed then. And then if we remove it, we'll lower our operating costs. So it is beneficial to the city to do. And it's also not contrary to any of the policies in the comprehensive plan. Staff's recommendation is that the Planning Commission determines by a motion the proposed 2016 to 2020 capital improvement program is in general conformance with the comprehensive plan.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments for staff or general discussion? If there are none, I would entertain a motion on this item, not to rush you.
I'll make a motion to find the proposed 2016 through 2020 capital improvement program in general conformance with the comprehensive plan. Second.
We have a motion made by Barber with a second, excuse me, by Freeman, that the Planning Commission finds the proposed 2016 through 2020 capital improvement program in general conformance with the comprehensive plan. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries with all those in favor. Thank you. That being the end of new business, we have one item under the other business section, and that would be to elect chairman and vice chairman of the Gardner Planning Commission for the 2015 through 2016 term. Staff presentation on this other business item.
Good evening, Commissioners. As established by the Gardner Planning Commission bylaws, Article 3, Section 1, the Planning Commission shall elect chairman and vice chairman each year. This has been done in July for the last 2 years, and that's why we bring it up now in the July meeting. And staff recommends that you nominate and elect a chairman and a vice chairman for the Gardner Planning Commission for the 2015-2016 term.
Thank you. That being said,
I think that,
I would
yeah, I
entertain a
think you
motion
guys are doing great.
to have discussion.
Appreciate that.
I mean, really, and Ray, even when you've had to fill in, I think it's going good.
But Commissioner Lammer, I understand you had some interest in vice chair?
If you didn't have sufficient interest, or you were on the fence, I would be willing to throw my
All right,
name out there.
well, I have done it for 2 years, and I don't mind letting somebody else take it.
Well,
Well, May I nominate for the chairman?
You may.
I'd like to nominate Adriana Mater as chairman.
Second.
We have a motion made by Weimer with a second by Lavella to nominate Adriana Mater as chairman of the Gardner Planning Commission for the 2015 through 2016 term. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? And I am abstaining. So with that, the motion carries with 6 in favor, no opposed, and 1 abstention.
I'd like to nominate Brett Lyman for vice.
Second.
I'll go with my left side this time. I have a motion made by Lavella with a second by Austin that we nominate Brett Lymer as vice chair for the 2015-2016 term of the Planning Commission. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? We have 1 abstention. Motion carries with 6 in favor, no opposed, and 1 abstention. Not seeing anything else on the agenda this evening.
Don't we have to nominate secretary officials?
Yeah, see, that's where it's a little bit kind of confusing. In the recommendation, it says to nominate a secretary, but if I read correctly through in section 4, the city administrator, his or her designee serves as a secretary. So I was a little confused on that too. Do we need to do anything with that, or is that just section 4 covers the secretary?
Even last year or the year before.
I didn't
No.
think so, but,
In the bylaws, section 4 covers the secretary,
Done.
and will be appointed by city administrator.
okay. Thanks for the question, because I have that as well.
Yeah, it's on there.
Absolutely. Okay, not seeing anything else? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this evening.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn made by Barber with a second by Lavella. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Brian, how are you?